Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome to another Casual Sundays discussion, and boy do I have a good subject for you guys today. It's regarding watering Phalaenopsis orchids with ice cubes. Now this will be pretty much a lengthy discussion. Hopefully you will bear with me if you are interested in the subject, because today we'll dissecate this subject to death. But first of all, let me show you what happened this week, a conversation between me and one of my viewers, so you can understand why I really want to make this video. You will see the messages on the screen. You can pause at any second to read the full discussion. I'm not gonna stay too much on this discussion. Basically, my viewer is insisting that ice might not be so bad for orchids, and I'm pretty much telling him that, it's really your choice. Here are the reasons, my reasons for not thinking ice is a good idea. Here is some expert advice, let's call it like that, that states that this might not be such a good idea. In any way, I'm trying to explain how Phalaenopsis orchids, because we'll refer only to them in this video, how they work, how they grow, what they encounter in their habitat, what can happen, and so on. Now, during this whole conversation, I am really trying to keep an open mind and to be cool about things, but the more the discussion goes on, the more I kind of feel irked by this whole just add ice marketing campaign. I'm really not upset with my viewer because he really was not rude, and I'm sure that there are many people who don't have enough information, who think like him, and so on. So what irks me most is the campaign itself, not the viewer, not his opinion, but the fact that a marketing campaign can actually make you believe certain stuff that might or might not be true. So today we're gonna dissecate the subject. I will not tell you it is wrong, although this is my opinion. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys decide. If you are new to my channel, if you don't know my channel, if you're new to orchids, hopefully this discussion will put you on the correct path to actually finding the answer yourself. Okay, so the main subjects we will refer to today are three. And first of all, we have the American Orchid Society, which is, I believe, the closest you can get to orchid experts out there, expert advice, and so on. If you go on their website and you check them out, see who they are, you will see they have a vast history of distinguished work and in-depth research and so on. Practically dates from 1924. In any case, you can see who they are, you can see the medals, you can see their achievements, and so on. Now, on their website, you can find basic information about orchids, care tips that are free for everyone. They're very basic, but they will indeed start you off on the journey. Of course, there are some in-depth articles which you will need to pay for, and it's only fair. This is these people's job and their work and so on, and they do deserve to be repaid in some way. So if you want to go in depth, you can actually, I think you need to pay a subscription. I'm not sure how it works, but some articles are payable if you want to view them, but many of them are not. Q&As are not. You can see some good information on this website to start you off on the right path with orchids. And this is practically the information we all started with when growing orchids. We read these articles and we tried to understand orchids before we actually got any hands-on experience with orchids. Now, the second subject of today is Just Add Ice Company. Now, from the get-go, we know that Just Add Ice is a company that sells orchids. We might have already purchased orchids from them, and we know they are Phalaenopsis orchids. So this company, like any other company, sells us a product for a certain amount of money, and this product is an orchid, and also a way of caring for orchids. This is sort of a punchline of their marketing campaign. Let's call it like that. Now, if you go on their website on the About tab, to be quite honest, I don't understand who Just Add Ice Orchids is more than a company, because what they say is that orchids are grown and supplied by Green Circle Growers, which is a nursery. So pretty much we won't find out who Just Add Ice is, who the people are, their names or anything. We just know they are supplied by Green Circle Growers. So let's search Green Circle Growers. So we see that indeed it is a nursery, it is a greenhouse. They have other plants as well. So if you read the description, they never say that they are Just Add Ice. They're just a nursery. I'm not sure what the connection is. They might be just providers. But if you read on, you can see that they do provide orchids to Home Depot, Heinz, Sam's Club. I'm not from the USA, so I don't know all these companies, but you get the idea. They provide orchids to certain places, certain companies. So they have usual orchid hybrids or orchid species, and they provide to multiple, let's say, companies, probably from the USA, multiple stores, and so on. Nowhere in their description does it say they use ice as a watering technique, although they do say they have an economical way of running their greenhouse. They use water, but then they get back the water, they filter it, practically purify it, and they reuse it. Very economical, but there's nothing about ice on their description, just the way they water using plain water. This is what I get from their description. So then again, we don't know who Just Add Ice is. We just know they're provided with orchids, not Just Add Ice orchids, but orchids, Phalaenopsis orchids, by the green growers or green circle growers. Yeah, by this nursery. Now, the third subject will be, let's say, us YouTubers, but I will include here other broadcasters on other platforms or other people who talk about orchids on other platforms like forums, blogs, and so on. Now, we are not experts, we are not scientists, due to various reasons, of course, but we are enthusiasts and collectors. This means that we take the information we find from the experts, we try it out, we take our twist on things and adapt it. Sometimes we issue theories of our own to try out. So practically, we kind of have hands-on experience with orchids. Of course, it depends on how much experience we have, how many orchids we have, and so on. We kind of differ and we might have different opinions, but anyway, we are not experts, we are collectors, passionates, and we try to figure out how orchids work, and we share this information with other people who are looking for basic culture or who have certain problems. Maybe we can help out. We do this because we kind of like to share this hobby, and we're actually doing this for free. Our information does not cost money because it is not expert advice. Of course, it is your choice if you want to repay us in a way, depending on the channel, if you want to take part in the ad campaign from YouTube or donation campaign or whatever, depends on the platform and so on. This is really your choice, but overall the information is free, and overall it is aimed at a better understanding of orchids, but it does follow the advice that the experts give to us. Okay, now that we know who these subjects are, let's start to conflict the information they provide to us and see how they relate to each other, and try to make some sense and to weight the advice that all of these people give us. And I will start with the strong points that Just Add Ice gives us for actually using their way of growing orchids. So first of all, there is a video on YouTube. I will link to it on the screen and also in the description below. Do check it out. They say that one of the main reasons why ice is good with orchids is that we are avoiding over-watering. And if you are one of my subscribers, you know that I always avoid this term because I say it is very, very confusing. And I have a good reason to say this, but let us see what the American Orchid Societies or the branches of the American Orchid Societies, the regional societies, let's see what they have to say about this. Now, in many of the articles on the societies, orchid societies websites, you will kind of figure out that overwatering in their perspective and in the accepted perspective means watering too often. It does not refer to the quantity of water used. If you noticed, in the Just Add Ice video, they refer to the quantity of water used. They actually say that ice provides the optimum quantity of water needed by an orchid. And I'll give you a little excerpt from the Oregon Orchid Society here that says it is very important to define overwatering properly. And reading this excerpt, you do get the sense of what overwatering actually means, and that it actually refers to the frequency of watering. It does not refer to the quantity of water used because a pot will drench out. Water will not stay in the pot. In any case, 99%, let's say, of the quantity of water you provide will not stay in the pot. It will be flushed out. Okay, now let's see what us YouTubers and orchid collectors say. Now, judging from our experience, we did indeed reach a consent that This overwatering thing does not mean the quantity of water we use with our orchids, but it means the frequency. And if you've watched my videos or Brad's videos or Holy City Orchids videos, Bill from Plants and Things, Gardening at Duenza, and so on, there are a lot of us, you kind of get the same vibe from us. We never refer to the quantity that we use. We have different techniques of watering, but we never use a certain quantity, let's say. We just water our orchids by drenching them or pouring water through them. So the general consent of the other platforms, let's say the orchids collector's point of view, is that overwatering indeed does not refer to the quantity of water used, but the frequency of watering. So the first rule or advice or strong point of Just Add Ice orchids about overwatering feels a bit sketchy. You already have two sources that say this is not the case. So from a grower's point of view, I'm already conflicted with this information because the expert advice kind of weighs a little bit more than what the company says, and it's bumping heads with what everybody says. So this is the first question mark that might make me rethink the goodwill of the Just Add Ice orchid if I'm a normal home grower and actually read multiple sources. Already I have a problem.